let me start this video off by saying, if you haven't already seen Stuart's new video, Stu's Views, go watch it. It's well written, well edited, concise, all things this video ain't gonna be. So, in that video, Stuart talks about how Trump's fans are romanticizing the idea of banning people for protesting against the national anthem. And that's great. I think that's something that should be talked about. But what I want to talk about is a bit smaller on scale, but no less important. And that's the national anthem in our schools. Now, it's not very often nowadays that you hear about students being punished for not standing during the national anthem. It's definitely not gone. It's still a problem that we still face in some places like Texas. But it's definitely less prevalent, and I think that's good. But what we should be hearing more about is schools that enforce, or rather, that tell the students that they are allowed to protest, that they are allowed to choose not to participate in the national anthem. That's very important because the students need that choice. They need to be given the choice to opt out of something that doesn't necessarily align with their views. The national anthem is very specific. You know, it's not meant for everyone, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be necessarily, but I think that if a student doesn't agree with what the national anthem stands for, that they should be allowed to step back and choose to opt out of it, you know? And I think that's something that teachers should be telling the students. Sure, it's something that they can do if they choose to, but do they all know that? Does that all click in their heads? It's very easy to fall into like a herd mentality. Like everyone stand, you know, for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then everyone stands. And like, sure, in your mind, you're like, okay, yeah, this is what I do. I stand up and I put my hand over my heart, whatever, right? But I think if we told them that they are allowed to take a second to think about it, do I believe in what this is saying? I think a lot more students would be opting out of it. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. That doesn't mean people are less patriotic or whatever. I think that just means that they don't agree with this one specific thing. It doesn't mean that they are against America and its ideals or its values. It just means that they're against this thing and what it stands for right now. And that's good. That's not a bad thing. That means we are trying to change what our society values, and that's great. I don't know if I'm making any fucking sense right now, because I'm kind of rambling, and I don't have a script, unlike Stuart's video. But my point is that students should be given that choice. They should be told that they have that choice, because that's very important for them to know. Because not a lot of kids know that they have that choice. I sure as fuck didn't back when I was in high school. Not until like the last year that I was there, and by that point it didn't fucking matter. Like, no one cared. Not that anyone necessarily needs to care, but at that point it didn't matter, at least not to me. And I think it would matter to a lot of people, especially with the current vibe that's going around politically right now. And I think it'd be an important step for our students to be given that choice, or to be told that they have that choice.